We're go.
Yay! We're good to go.
We're good to go.
Alright, so...
Episode 7.
Woo!
Woo!
We're getting somewhere. Alright, so welcome back. Yeah, I'm walking with a cane. Screwed up my legs pretty bad.
His age is showing.
Oh, what the hell? So, 4 movies for this week were Black Rat.
Yep.
Horror of Dracula.
Yep.
Megan is Missing.
Yep. And Final Cut, which is kind of it's more action suspense than it is horror, but you know what? I like it. So
comparison this week is actually 2 countries battling it out for once. It's the American remake, The Grudge, versus the original Japanese Ju-On.
Yep.
Our top 5 list is scariest moments on television,
Which
not movies, TV. And our artist of the week.
You know what? I'm gonna go with. I just was trying to listen to him in the truck.
That one guy.
That one guy at Bandcamp, you know. Lamb of God.
Good choice.
I love them. So.
Alright, so we'll talk about them first, because you just said that you love them.
I love them.
Lamb of God, death metal band from America.
Yes.
Pretty cool band. I've seen them twice now, come to think of it. Both times at Ozfest.
Why aren't you just a lucky duck?
Yeah. Well, it was actually cool, because the last time I saw them was back in 2007.
Okay.
And if you paid $1,000, you got to do a meet and greet with Ozzy and Sharon before Ozfest.
Okay.
You got to be on stage when Ozzy's band was playing, and you got to party with the bands after the show. And of course, I was.
Of course, you paid $1,000 for that.
Yeah. And it was actually really cool because I got to meet the bands and talk with them, and of course, Lamb was there, which was really cool. Hatebreed, Behemoth, In This Moment.
A lot of really heavy metal.
Lordy was there, which was really cool. Static X. Good time, really good time. I had a blast. But yeah, I like Lamb of God. They're pretty good.
They got some good songs under the belt.
I mean, I definitely am more of a fan of classic death metal than the modern stuff. But yeah, Lamb of God's pretty good. I don't like the fact that there's a lot of religious talk.
Yeah, I know.
That's my only thing that I don't really care for. I'm just like,
I've noticed that. I mean, I've gone through some of their videos. I've listened to a lot of their music, and I just some of the stuff is religious.
It is. But yeah, I can't say that I hate them, but I can't say I love them. They're definitely a band I'd listen to, but it's not one of these ones where I'm like, yeah, Lamb of God, awesome. You know, fucking rock on. You know, I'm not like that. But yeah, they're not bad.
What's your favorite song? If you could pick one.
Laid to Rest.
You like that one?
I think that'd be my favorite one. Would be Laid to Rest.
I like Redneck.
That's a good one too. They've got a lot of good ones, but like I said, I'm kind of
not a huge fan, but
I'm
you know
kind
what?
of different.
I like them. Not a huge fan also, but you know what? I like listening to them. There's something different.
They're pretty cool,
especially for my style.
So top 5. This was my pick this week, so I'll go first. At number 5, and this is the only cartoon that made my list, is the Bat Slaughter scene from I think it's episode 11. Yeah, episode 11, called "I'm with the Band," and it's from the Silverling cartoon, which unfortunately never made it to America. It was only a Canadian cartoon. You can only now see it on like YouTube, or if you're like me and you've read the books and really enjoyed the books, then you can get the DVD season off Amazon, eBay, whatever. Number 4, the Owl Transformation from Tales from the Crypt, season 7. So it's the last season. It's close to the last episode. It's really kind of a neat episode because it's about a safecracker.
Okay.
And he's getting older and his hearing's going. Well, this guy hires him, and the guy ends up actually, the safecracker sleeps with the guy's wife. And you find out later that the wife has been spliced with a cat. So she's got cat's eyes, and she can see in the dark and everything like that. And the safecracker, she informs him of this, and he actually has the eardrums of an owl put into him. So his hearing advances greatly. Well, at the end of the episode, she actually turns on him after he shoots her, because you find out that the guy who hired her made a bet with her to see if the guy would actually
do something like that.
Would try to kill her and take all the money, or if he would stay, faithful. And of course, she lost the bet. Well, he actually ends up beginning to transform into a human owl hybrid. Like, he ends up growing a beak and feathers, and he actually spins his head all the way around. And it's a really creepy episode. And I saw, God, I was real young. It was the first airing of it on HBO, and it creeped me out. Number 3 is the Black Dahlia episode from American Horror Story. This episode really scared me because you find out that the Black Dahlia's ghost is affiliated with the house where all the ghosts are and everything. Come to find out, there was a doctor who lived there, and she was a patient, and she had no money, so she paid in other ways. And while the doctor had her under anesthetic, he had his fun after operating on her. However, she died under the anesthetic, and he made it look much more gruesome. He cut this menacing smile into her, cut her in half, the whole Black Dahlia thing.
Right.
But she has no idea that she's the Black Dahlia. And when she finds out, her and one of the other ghosts kill this guy, and they end up actually copying that exact artwork, I guess you'd call it, perverse artwork, and he became the boy Dahlia. So it was really, really a neat thing. That was my number 3. Number 2, for our viewers in the UK, you guys might remember this, the Jutterman commercial was for a Snops over in the UK, and part of it's done like this old marionette puppet show, but then another part of it's filmed in this old Gothic castle, and it's supposed to look like there's a forest and it's snowing, and the Jutterman he's almost like this dark elf version of Jack Frost, and he's really, really creepy, and if you drink the schnapps, you pretty much are under his control. And it's a really, really creepy commercial. It scared a lot of people. And my number 1, and this one I picked, and I know I'm going to get laughed at, but this particular thing just creeps me out so much. It scares the hell out of me. I'm not going to go into why this creeps me out so much, but my number 1 is the Mothman episode from Monster Quest.
I love that show.
I love that show too, and Mothman just scares the living shit out of me. Like I said, I'm not going to go into why, but anything Mothman, I'll watch it because I'm interested, but again, it scares the living hell out of me. So that's my list. You're
all right. Well, my list is probably much more laughable than yours.
Okay.
So number 5, we're starting out with nephew Fred from Courage the Cowardly Dog. And now I've said it before. I love this show. It scared me as a child. He was probably the creepiest person out of that whole thing.
He was definitely among the creepiest. But I always loved Fred. I loved Fred, yeah, because of the naughty. I always loved that.
Creepy character.
I can hardly see myself. Oh no, that's me over there.
I'm over here.
That was a good one.
Anyway.
Tastes like McWeb.
But very creepy character. Definitely is one of those hallmark Courage characters.
I wish he would have shown up in more episodes.
I know. It was like only really two episodes he showed up in? 1? That's it?
1. It was within the first season, I think.
Well, even with that said, I mean, come on, look at the frog that became the mascot for Warner Bros.
God.
He was in one episode, one hit wonder, Looney Tune.
No, he showed up in a couple of later episodes, but he wasn't a big, huge character by any means. He just became like the Warner Brothers staple, which I thought was kind of stupid, but whatever.
It's either him or Bugs Bunny. But, sidetrack.
Okay,
Alright.
Next.
Number 4. And you told me about this, and I actually went to go look at it, and it's scary, funny. It's Hannibal Lecter.
The Windex commercial.
The Windex commercial.
Where it pans from an interrogation room to the glass cell. And he's standing there, and there's like barely any light, and he looks really menacing. And you don't see a wall or anything, so he's just coming at you, and you're actually getting kind of freaked out. And then he just slams into this glass wall. And you laugh later because you got scared from it. And you're like, oh my god, I'm such a loser.
But
That one was pretty creepy now that you mention it.
It was creepy, and then he runs into the thing, and you're like, oh, that got me.
It was good.
So, number 3, Desperation.
The Stephen King miniseries, movie, whatever you want to call it.
Miniseries that they made later into
the movie.
I really no particular like scene. A lot of it was creepy. A lot of it was scary.
Yeah, I really like that. You got Ron Perlman, who of course most people know as Hellboy.
He's also on that biker.
Yeah, he's
show
on
there.
Sons of Anarchy.
Right.
He plays
the
Clay.
Clay. Yeah.
The primary. I guess
the president.
Of
whatever.
The
Yeah.
Then of course he was also he was in Blade 2.
Yep.
He played one of the vampires in that, and there was another
such an underrated actor.
Kind of another horror-esque film that he did. He was in Alien Resurrection. He played one of the smugglers.
Right.
He had scars all over his face.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I like Ron Perlman. He's cool.
Underrated actor.
Very much so.
I think he should be much more popular than he is. But that pretty much, I can't pick a scene from that to specifically think. So we'll just do the whole thing.
Excuse me.
All right, and number 2, because it just freaked me out when I saw it. It was on Unsolved Mysteries.
So, aside from Korea doing Gangnam Style.
Aside from that. That is a mystery.
Yeah, but I don't understand a thing that he says other than sexy lady.
He talks about him being fat, but he likes his woman sexy, I think.
He is kind of fat.
He's a fat guy. But...
And this is just me, or does he look like Kim Won-jong, the guy who runs Korea?
Don't even go there.
He does. Come on.
Psy is way cooler than Kim Won-jong.
Kim Won-jong. But he does, doesn't he? He kind of looks like him.
I guess, but even with that said, I like Psy way better.
Well, yeah, so do I.
But anyway.
He's not trying to blow us up.
Right? But it's the cop chase that goes after the ghost car.
The car, and it goes down the alleyway and it just disappears.
Into a fence.
Yeah, it like just drives through it, and the cops are like, how the hell did this happen?
And you can see the lights fading behind the fence pattern. I was watching like, oh, ghost car, I've seen so many cop chase videos, this is just a fluke or whatever, but he seriously goes through a fence, and I'm like,
yeah,
whoa.
It's definitely a weird one.
You think after that they would have walked, like during the daylight, they would have walked down that trail to see if there's a broken car there or something, with like someone like a dead body.
I apologize, guys, for yawning so much. I haven't slept yet. I work night shifts, so again, I apologize for yawning so much. A little bit, yeah. It's starting to get to me. All right, so you're number 1.
Swedish commercial. Not sure if it's a car commercial. Also, ghost car oriented.
You and your cars.
Me and my cars, gotta love them. Now, all right, what you see is that you see this car driving around, this winding road, and it's very soft music.
Aww.
And it's like, oh, relaxing, and then it goes behind a tree, and it blacks out and screams at you. And first time I saw this video, I think I just about shit myself.
You probably would.
Like, holy fuck! And I
probably would because you're a little girl.
I fell back in my seat and what?
Dude, look at our battery life.
Those are brand new batteries.
I know, but you see it too, right?
I see it.
Alright, so let's jump on this.
Okay.
So I'm up first, and this one, unfortunately, you didn't get to watch with me. But the film is Black Rat. This movie is from Japan. It's about 6 friends, I think. Yes, 6 or 7 friends. One of them commits suicide, and nobody really knows why. But a year later, they're going to be doing this carnival, school festival, whatever. And all of a sudden, all of the friends start getting picked off one by one by this person in a Japanese schoolgirl uniform wearing a black rat mask, carrying a baseball bat. Throughout the majority of the movie, you know, you're led to believe that it's the girl who killed herself, and
which I could see.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, you know, another Japanese ghost story, blah blah blah. Woo. And it turned out not to be that way. It actually turns out to be somebody living. I'm not going to tell you who.
Go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. It's more reminiscent of like 80s slasher flicks. Once you start watching it, it kind of reminds me a lot of like Halloween, My Bloody Valentine.
We've been doing a lot of those lately.
Yeah, I you know, I tried watching this once before, and I unfortunately was unable to finish it. So I went back and I was like, oh, I really want to watch this film. I did enjoy it. I can't say, you know, it's anywhere near as great as Halloween or a lot of the other slasher flicks out there. Of course, I'm talking Rob Zombie's Halloween, not that fucking Carpenter hunk of shit.
Hey, screw you.
I know, you love
like
Carpenter. I know.
No, I like Carpenter.
You want to marry him, I know.
No, that's horrible.
You want to marry him.
Such a douche.
So, Black Rat, because JJ didn't watch it, I'm the only one giving a rating. I give it a 6. Like I said, it's not horrible. It's certainly interesting to see that the Japanese did go away from, you know, the ghost stories all the freaking time. So again, Black Rat, 6. You're up, bitch.
Alright, well, we're going to do Dracula first.
Alright.
The Horrors of Dracula, it's somewhere. Right here. I'm going to try to hide the rest of them because it's a 4-pack because I'm a lazy ass and I like buying them all at once. That one, right at the top there. I don't think you can see it. Either way.
With the man, Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee, who is, if not the best Dracula, definitely the most prolific.
I don't say that he's the best. You and I spoke of this earlier.
I think he's pretty awesome.
I think Leslie Nielsen was the best. No, not really. Yeah, I would have to say Christopher Lee is
either him or Bela Lugosi.
Yeah, but Bela only did like 2 or 3 Dracula films.
That's why I said if he's not the best, he's certainly the most prolific.
I mean, of course, I want to say Max Schreck as Count Orlok because it was a Dracula film. Unfortunately, you know, due to that it being changed and everything.
Yeah. So
I don't really count him as much. And Orlok, to me, compared to Dracula, is a completely different vampire. Nosferatu compared to the quote-unquote Dracula-esque vampire is so much different. And we're not going to get into that fight because we know who's going to win. But this was one of Hammer's premier Dracula films with, like I said, the man, Christopher Lee. You said 57 this was made?
1957.
So
which
it's a pretty old flick.
It doesn't look that old, though, when you watch it.
No, it really doesn't.
It has that 60s feel.
I really like this flick. I like it a lot. Because I want to say it was actually their first Dracula film. And I love the scene where Jonathan Harker is seduced by the female vampire, Dracula's bride, and she goes to bite him, and Dracula busts in, and his eyes are all bloodshot, and the blood's dripping on his face. I thought that was just that's like, a really cool
freaked
scene.
Me for a little bit. I mean, like, I was sitting there and I'll say bust through. I'm like, whoa. It's
a really cool scene. I really dig this. So for me, as everyone knows, I'm a huge vampire fanatic. I give it a 7.
You give it a 7?
I give it a 7.
Well, you know, and even though I say it, I'm probably lying to myself at this point. I'm not a terribly... I'm coming around to vampires.
Yeah.
I'm coming around to it. And I haven't seen this movie. I've seen bits and pieces, because as I watched it, I'm like, oh, I remember that, and I remember that.
Yep.
I gotta give it an 8.
An 8?
Because I was sitting and I was enjoying it. It wasn't too scary, but it did stick a lot to the roots that you would think Dracula is.
I know that normally we would go to my film next.
We'll save your film for last.
But we're going to talk about Final Cut first. I'm going to jump right into this. I'm not a huge fan of this movie.
I know you're not. And
I thought I was.
That's okay, though.
I thought I was going to be, but I just didn't enjoy this as much as, like, 1 Hour Photo.
1 Hour Photo.
Or even Insomnia. I was a big fan of Insomnia.
Insomnia was a good movie, though.
But I didn't care for this one for some reason, and I don't know why. So, only because our battery life is kind of dying, I'm going to jump right into my rating. I'm not even going to give a review. I give it a 3.
Okay. Well, on my side of the story, I love the movie.
Okay.
It's a could be, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like it could happen, and if it did happen, there's no way we would know about it.
Yeah,
and so I give it a 6. I like it.
All right. The reason we saved this film is this film. JJ and I just watched it recently.
He picked it and he didn't know what he was watching.
I've never watched it, so this is a completely new film to both of us. I did do a little research because this film does talk about child abduction, pedophilia, murder, everything.
Abuse.
So I really was curious as to if this was a director this was some kind of perverse...
this is really fucked up.
art form that or perverse fetish that he wanted to pass off as art. And come to find out, he had a neighbor whose child was abducted, and he used it kind of as a springboard. And thankfully, some of the proceeds from the purchasing of this film does go to help locate missing children. The movie is called Megan is Missing. I don't know if you guys can really see the cover too well or not.
It's a very dark cover, but
it is a very dark cover. It's a really, really disturbing story.
And if it's disturbing us, especially Ed, it's pretty messed.
I mean, right on the front cover, it says a powerful, important film that deserves both attention and discussion. And it really does. This is a movie that I think that...
We actually had to walk outside and start talking about it.
We did, and I felt so unnerved that I actually had to go out. And I'm not a full-time smoker. I smoke occasionally. I actually had to have a cigarette in order to calm myself because this movie really, really bothered me. It was really disturbing for how realistic it was.
It got everything down to a T. It captured the horror that it would be to be a child like that.
Especially in today's...
The
movie takes place in 2007 about a 14-year-old girl, Megan Stewart, who she was sexually abused as a child from the age of 9 to 11.
Right, by her stepdad, right.
And I was wrong. Actually, her best friend Amy, is only 13 years old.
Okay.
So she's actually younger. They start chatting with this guy online, and I mean they're talking about everything and anything sexual. I mean they're talking about blowjobs and getting wasted.
They get into it. I mean the popular teenage girl life, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean it's
in northern Hollywood.
It's really, really disturbing.
It's slow to pick up though. It really is.
It starts off very slow, and I'm gonna read this off right now. This film contains scenes of drug use, sexual assault, and frank language, and is not intended for persons under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. That is completely true. This movie, there's a lot of really bad language. There's a god-awful, brutal rape scene, and it's so realistic too. That happens.
It makes me uncomfortable talking about it.
This film, I think, will haunt both of us for quite some time.
And people, we're going to say it right out because we talked about it.
I'm sure that there are going to be people who look at this and they're going to be like, they're going to look at it as an actual horror film, and I'm sure I'm going to hear comments of like, oh, he should have raped her harder, or things of that nature.
But it's more of a, like you said, a public service announcement.
It really is. By the way, any viewer who is a parent, go watch this film. Do not watch it with your children, of course. But
watch it with
this will really show you the dark side of the internet. And JJ and I have both come to an agreement on this. This movie is unrateable. We can't put it as a horrible film. We can't put it as a great film. Although I'm going to say straight out, it is a great film for the fact of what it does. It really does make you stop and think, and it really does make you discuss the film that you just watched. It really does. So Megan is Missing, unfortunately, is not going to get a rating. So please, if you have children or if you are interested in seeing this film, please do so. And don't download the film. Don't pirate it. Please purchase it, because the money goes to the Claus Kids Foundation, which helps to find missing kids, and it really does go for a good cause. So, Mr. Claus, if you are watching, we did watch the film, and we're sorry about what happened to your child. But this movie is very powerful, very moving, and like you and I both said, it's unrateable. We can't put any kind of rating to this. We can't even put it in a category of its own, by saying, that this film, it's just disturbing, and that's all we can really say on it. Alright, so let's get off the topic of Megan is Missing.
Yes.
Alright, so now we get to the comparison.
Yep.
We have the original Japanese Ju-on, which is primarily the Grudge film.
No.
Directed actually by the same director, Takashi Shimizu. Not much changed from Japanese to American, so this is going to be quite a difficult one. Obviously, The Grudge has Sarah Michelle Gellar in it and is English, so you don't have to read subtitles.
I don't mind reading subtitles.
I don't either. I actually like a lot of foreign.
We had to do it with Serbian film, so
We did. I'm going to come straight out and give mine, only because, again, our battery life is depleting. I go Ju-on. I go the original Japanese.
You go the original Japanese. Well, I really wish I could go that route, but I haven't seen Ju-on.
Oh, you haven't?
I haven't, but I've seen The Grudge.
Okay.
And I love The Grudge.
Okay, so you're going.
It's a good horror movie. Really gets you kind of freaking out. Like when I was taking a shower, I actually kept on touching the back of my head. I was just waiting for something to pop out.
I don't know if it was because of the fact that it wasn't in English that Ju-on got me more than The Grudge. But I really liked both versions of the film because, like I said, it's made by the same director, which was a first.
It's more pure.
They originally wanted to move The Grudge to America, but the producer on the film was Sam Raimi, the guy who directed and wrote the Evil Dead trilogy, as well as later going on and doing the first 3 Spider-Man films. Which is why Bruce Campbell shows up in all 3. But Bruce Campbell's the man.